For many years, Ghanaian farmers have cleared very large hectares of land to grow food and cash crops to feed themselves and the entire nation. They use old farming methods that produce very low yields while relying on the unpredictable rainfall patterns, fertilizers and pesticides. The devastating impact of climate change is making this way of farming very unproductive. Climate-smart agricultural methods like greenhouse farming have been seen as a way of ensuring food security. In Ghana, TechShelta is the leading agribusiness service-oriented company that helps farmers to improve the efficiency of greenhouse farming using technological innovations.
Greenhouses are, by design, a strict regime kind of growing of crops. And you're supposed to maintain certain activities in fixed times and schedules. So some of these were managed manually, and these manual inefficiencies affected yields. We also observed that some of the greenhouse farmers lacked the requisite knowledge to be able to understand even the language of the crop, the agronomy of the crop, knowing what to give to the crop, even getting feedback from the crop, because the crop would normally give you feedback by the fruits you get, the color of leaves, and so much more. So the agronomy, there was a gap. The time of delivery of agronomy was also a problem. Even when they have endeavored to even do this 40% of yield, they had a problem of connecting this produce to market. That was a major problem. So you do well to produce under this strict regime of production and only go out there in the open market to compete with all these open field products, which probably are not premium.
This is a team of engineers, agronomists, agro-trainers, logistics and supply chain experts who come together to deliver smart technological solutions in greenhouse farming. After years of painstaking studies in this sector, this team of young innovators started a search and rescue mission to re-engineer some greenhouse facilities.
We instituted the search and rescue project because we realized that many farmers had given up hope on the process of running greenhouses or using greenhouses as a way of growing crops. So we set out to rather, instead of starting just new ones, let's go look at those who have got their greenhouses non-operational to get them back to operations and make them profitable. So in our search, we saw a lot of them. We saw a lot of greenhouses which were down. But engaging the particular owner of this place was quite interesting because he was more willing to restart. Many of the others had given up hope because whatever you said, it was like they've heard that story before. They've heard that story before. So when we engaged this particular greenhouse farmer, he said, okay guys, try with the first 3 because he had 6 on his farm. So we kicked up the first 3, and when he saw the yields and how our operations were going, he felt there was no need to wait any longer. So he handed over the entire space that, guys, take over the space and do what you want with it. And over time, we've grown from the 6, and now we're at 14. We added 8 new ones last year.
Since then, this agribusiness startup is growing very fast, providing an engineering solution to agricultural problems in the open field.
So the greenhouse space, as compared to the open field, has its advantages. The beauty is that within a greenhouse, you use very less land to produce high yields as compared to the open field. So per square area, you can actually go between 12 and 15 kg per square area as compared to 4 and 5 in open field. I mean, it could be less for some people, but mostly even the 12 and 15 I'm talking about can be varied. If your cultural practices are okay, you can actually move all the way. In some countries, I've actually done 60 kilos of tomatoes per square area. And so within a small space, in the issue where we have land tenure systems, land challenges, land struggles, with a small growing area, greenhouses will give you more yield. So you don't need too much space to do that. Also, we use less water in the greenhouse because here we are, instead of using the open irrigated systems where you have more power pumping water and all that. With the greenhouse, you have your small tank, you have less water used because you're doing some level of precision farming. You are dripping on the spot where you need it. And because you control pests in this space, you are using less pesticides. Because there's less pests attacking your crop. You use less pesticide. That means the amount of money you use to run the farm goes down. The pesticide residue in the crop is lesser and so you, the consumer, you are safer. Also, you're not going to just spray anything. You can be precise. Isolate and spray and attack, and the issue is taken care of. The incidence of crop loss is also lowered in the greenhouse because in the open field you have a case where there's a flood, there's a high-speed wind, there is something. All these factors you cannot control could actually cause a complete crop loss. It does not mean we don't have crop losses here. Yes, careless people can actually cause you, with a simple spraying of some of your applications, you can burn off the entire crop. But that is also limited because people here are very careful and precise, well trained. And so in the greenhouse space, you have less incidences of losses as compared to the open field. So it does not mean the open field is not okay, but the greenhouse gives you 3 to 4 times what you can do in the open field. When well managed, you save money, you give us good produce, you give us high yields, the farmer is happy, the consumer is happy, Ghana is happy.
Everybody in Ghana here buys our produce, most especially the major supermarkets in Ghana here. We supply to them a lot. The expert trades, the other individuals, people who are middle class men, people who really want to take good care of their health, and because of the wholesome produce we sell to them, we get a lot of individuals also trooping in buying from us. So let me say our customer base, really we don't have specific, but it cuts across everybody.
And these young innovators are building the tools and applications that allow farmers to connect and practice data-driven farming. These digital tools, innovations and automation will hopefully make agriculture attractive to young people.
It should be the desire of every young child. I want to be a farmer like the TechShelta people. I mean, it's a story, if told tomorrow, we'll be more excited that young people have a vision set to be farmers like us. If that becomes a reality, that means that we should be sure that the future farmers are no longer going to be dressed in ragged clothes, but they could be smart, clean, with their boots, helmets, safety tools, and right on the farm, we get the food we need. So TechShelta seeks to make that possible. Also, we seek to also bring other people who are interested in investing in agriculture, create a safe zone for them to come through. Because investment in agriculture has become very difficult because many people because there are a lot of risk in the space, they are very scared to come in. But we want to create a space where they can see the data, they see the predictive nature of it, then they can say, okay, it is possible to put A into this and get A plus B plus C. Then insurance companies can come in and insure farms properly, and investments can come into agriculture knowing that when they put A here, they will get A, B, and C. And so everybody gets happy. So we're looking at making this place so viable, or greenhouse farming so viable, that other investors and stakeholders can come through.
What TechShelta is doing is a classic example of climate-smart agriculture. These young innovators have mastered the skills of growing crops efficiently while combating climate change.
With greenhouse farms, we use less water, we use less pesticides, so we cause virtually little harm to the environment. We use less land space to produce more. So the impact of the greenhouse on the land is actually lessened. That means we can have more trees around, not clearing all trees for agricultural activities. Have a few cluster of greenhouses, grow crops for a larger group of people. So we use less land, we use less water, and the impact of our operations also, because we use less water, water is available for other things. Now, because this is engineered, we use less physical labor around where a lot of movements of people is lowered. So we have very little or few people making sure that the rest of us have good food. As responsible citizens of the world and of the environment, we also make sure that in our various areas of growing crops, we sustain the natural growing crops around us. What it means is that the natural habitat, we don't destroy it because we want to do our stuff. A small area is cleared, we cover the ground as we should, and then put our buckets in and use. Now, we don't use the soil a lot because we use growing medias. And By the use of growing media, what have we achieved? We have put out of the environment supposed agro waste, that is cocoa pit that is made out of coconut husks and all. These are supposed to be waste out there, but we bring that waste out, we work on it, and then reuse it as a growing media for the crop. We have managed waste by that process.
With more greenhouse structures built and many young people going into farming, there will be a gradual paradigm shift in the way farming is done in the country.